Roman philosophers weren't just guys in togas staring at clouds. One was a lawyer who turned Senate speeches into philosophical showdowns. Another, a millionaire stoic dodging palace drama like it was reality TV. There's the ex-slave who became the empire's moral compass, an emperor who journaled his way through wars and worries, and a poet who basically said, "Relax, it's just atoms." This is part one of Every Roman Philosopher Explained. Get ready to think harder, laugh smarter, and maybe live wiser. Meet Marcus Tullius Cicero, 106 to 43 BC. Rome's master orator, lawyer, and political philosopher. His big idea? That rhetoric, law, philosophy, and politics must work together. An ideal speaker must also be a thinker and a statesman. Cicero introduced Roman readers to Greek philosophical schools, Stoicism, Epicureanism, and academic skepticism, creating Latin vocabulary like evidentia and humanitas to express key ideas. His method, dialogue and debate. Whether in De Finibus Officiis or Academica, Cicero stages opposing views, then critiques them to teach critical thinking. His core interests were 1. Politics and law. He argued that natural law grounded in reason and virtue should guide the laws of the state. Even written law must reflect justice. Think of ethics driving government decisions. 2. Ethics. In De Officiis, Cicero lays out what's honorable versus personally advantageous and how to act when they conflict. A practical moral handbook in letter form to his son. 3. Rhetoric. His dialogues De Oratore and De Inventione describe a 5-part method: invention, arrangement, style, memory, delivery. But more than speech technique, it's moral persuasion rooted in knowledge and justice. 4. Epistemology and skepticism in Academica. Cicero shows Greek academic skepticism in action, questioning certainty and balancing belief with doubt to seek wisdom. 5. Theology and metaphysics. In works on the gods and fate, Cicero explored divine providence and human reason, blending Stoic and academic ideas with Roman piety. Imagine a lawyer vlogger today. Cicero would want them not just to know case law, legal content, but also to speak persuasively, rhetoric, act ethically, ethics, and understand political context, politics. That's the unified vision he championed. In short, Cicero held that wisdom without action is empty, rhetoric without virtue is dangerous, law without philosophy is blind. He built the intellectual bridge between Greek thought and Roman public life. Meet Lucius Annaeus Seneca, 4 BC to 65 AD, Rome's Stoic philosopher, statesman, playwright, and advisor to Emperor Nero. His big idea? That virtue is the only true good, and that we must train our minds to remain calm, rational, and free, no matter how chaotic it becomes. Seneca translated Greek Stoicism into Roman life, emphasizing self-discipline, inner peace, and moral clarity in an often brutal world. His method, letters and essays. In Letters to Lucilius on the Shortness of Life and On Anger, Seneca shares Stoic wisdom through personal, practical reflections, designed to be read and lived. He was trained in rhetoric, and it shows. His writing is sharp, persuasive, and deeply reflective. His core interests were 1. Ethics. Seneca taught that suffering isn't evil, only vice is. For him, a wise person remains unshaken by wealth, death, or misfortune. Think of losing a job but keeping your dignity. 2. Emotions and control. In On Anger, he argued that passion must be ruled by reason. Anger, grief, and fear are natural, but we must master them, not be mastered. 3. Mortality. In On the Shortness of Life, Seneca urged us to use our time wisely, not waste it chasing fame or pleasure. Life is long enough if we live it well. 4. Nature and reason. As a Stoic, Seneca believed we must live according to nature, meaning in harmony with reason and virtue, not instinct or impulse. Imagine a modern coach or therapist. Seneca would tell them to help people change their mindset, not their circumstances, because true freedom is internal. In short, Seneca believed that a good life is a disciplined life. We can't control fate, but we can control ourselves. And in that lies our power. Step into the world of Epictetus, born around 55 AD, died around 135 AD. Born a slave, he became one of the most influential Stoic philosophers of all time. His central idea? That we may not control events, but we do control how we respond to them, and in that lies true freedom. Epictetus didn't write himself, but his student Arrian compiled his teachings in the Discourses and the Enchiridion, a short handbook of Stoic life. His style, clear, direct, and practical, like a coach who tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. His core interests were 1. Ethics and control. Epictetus made a clear divide: what's in our control, thoughts, choices, versus what's not, fame, health, death. Lost your phone? Can't control that. How you react? That's on you. 2. Freedom and responsibility. He taught that freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about mastering your desires and fears. 3. Discipline. He urged people to train the will like a muscle. Life is a challenge. We must prepare the mind like an athlete prepares the body. 4. Reason and nature. To live well, we must follow reason and accept fate, trusting the natural order, even in suffering. His notable ideas, like prohairesis, moral will, and the dichotomy of control, shaped generations of thinkers, from Marcus Aurelius to modern psychology. Picture a modern mindfulness teacher. Epictetus would remind them that peace isn't out there, it's within, shaped by how we think, not what happens. In short, Epictetus believed self-mastery is the foundation of happiness. You may lose everything, but if you keep your mind steady, you've lost nothing essential. Enter the mind of Marcus Aurelius, born in 121 AD, passed away in 180 AD. Roman emperor, battlefield commander, and philosopher of the inner life. Despite ruling the world's most powerful empire, Marcus saw himself first as a student of wisdom, a humble seeker trying to live by reason, virtue, and acceptance of fate. His core idea, that life is unpredictable, pain is certain, and people may be cruel, but we always have the choice to respond with dignity, justice, and inner calm. Marcus didn't write for the world. His only major work, Meditations, is a private journal filled with reflections on how to stay centered amid chaos. It's Stoic philosophy in action, raw, personal, and deeply human. His method, self-dialogue. He wrote to himself, not as emperor, but as a flawed human trying to align with reason and nature. You're angry? Remind yourself, others act from ignorance, not evil. He was training his own mind, like a philosopher in armor. His core interests were 1. Ethics and virtue. Marcus taught that virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, is the only true good. Wealth, power, even life itself, they're indifferent. What matters is how we use them. Think of a leader who chooses honesty over popularity. That's Stoic virtue. 2. Control and acceptance. Like Epictetus, Marcus believed we must accept what we cannot change. He often reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. 3. Mortality and perspective. He reflected often on death, not to despair, but to gain clarity. If life is short, then wasting it on anger or vanity is foolish. 4. Duty and rationality. As emperor, Marcus saw philosophy not as retreat, but as service. He believed that living according to reason means fulfilling your role, father, friend, ruler, with integrity. Notable ideas: the unity of all people, cosmopolitanism, the impermanence of life, and the practice of daily reflection to refine the soul. Picture a modern leader journaling at night asking, was I fair? Did I act justly? That's the spirit of Marcus Aurelius, still guiding us through his words. In short, Marcus Aurelius showed that even the most powerful person can, and should, live humbly, ethically, and mindfully. His legacy? A reminder that true strength is not in conquest, but in character. Step into the world of Titus Lucretius Carus around 99 to 55 BC, a Roman poet-philosopher who explained the universe through poetry. His big idea? That everything, mind, body, stars, and soul, is made of tiny, invisible particles, atoms. Lucretius was deeply influenced by Epicurus. His only known work, De Rerum Natura on the Nature of Things, blends science and poetry to free people from superstition and fear, especially the fear of death. His method, observation and reason. Lucretius used vivid examples like dust dancing in sunlight to explain atomic motion. He argued that even the soul is material and perishes with the body, so there's no afterlife to fear. His core interests were 1. Natural philosophy. He explained lightning, earthquakes, and disease without invoking gods, just nature and atoms. 2. Psychology. The mind, he said, is physical. Understanding nature calms our anxieties. 3. Ethics. He echoed Epicurus. Pleasure is the goal, but not luxury. Real pleasure is peace of mind. Lucretius rejected divine intervention. He believed the gods exist, but they don't interfere with the world. De Rerum Natura is both a science manual and a philosophical awakening. It invites readers to look at the stars, not in fear, but in wonder. In short, Lucretius believed that knowledge of nature frees the soul. Understanding atoms helps us live better, not just longer.